Hi guys, my name is Jordan, and this is the first video in a series of videos explaining the basic concepts of the programming language C. C is a great programming language to learn. It was my first programming language that I learned. There's a few reasons for that. Firstly, it's extremely simple language. If you want to print something to the screen, you just write printf. If you want to scan something in, you just write scanf, putting it simply. It's also a very low-level language, which means you're very close to the memory of the system. You get a better understanding of how the computer manages the memory, stores it, which you just really don't get with other programming languages. Anyways, let's get started. All you'll need for this is a text editor. I'm going to be using Sublime. It's really good. It's got a lot of different languages which you can choose from. We'll be using C. And you'll also need a terminal screen. You just go into your applications if you're using a map and select terminal for this. There'll be no prior knowledge of any programming language needed for this tutorial. It will help, you'll understand the concepts a little bit better, but you don't need any previous knowledge. So the first program which we'll write is going to be called helloWorld. All it'll do is print helloWorld to the terminal screen here, like this. So the first thing you're going to want to do is save a file called helloWorld.c. We'll put that in my videos folder. helloWorld. The .c tells the compiler that we're writing a C program. So we'll save. Now we can see, since I'm already in the folder, if I type in ls into my terminal screen, you'll see helloWorld.c. It doesn't contain anything because we haven't written anything yet, but there's the file. So all C programs follow the same basic structure. At the top, you'll include your libraries. A library tells the compiler about some of the commands in your program. Without it, it wouldn't know what the commands do. So the libraries basically link a text command with what it actually does in machine code. So the two basic libraries which you'll need for almost every program which you write are, well, this is how you write it. You go #include, and then the library is stdio.h, and the other one is #include stdlib.h. These will handle all of your input-output, like this one is standard input-output, and your return statements. It won't handle any asserts or any more complicated string manipulation, but we'll get into that in other videos. The next thing you need in your program is a main line. This is where your program will start executing from. So to write a main line, you write int main, open brackets, int argc, comma, char, asterisk, argv. Open curly braces, and you can press enter a few times. So just to give you a brief idea of what all of this means. It's not important to understand what it all is now, but so you're basically declaring a function main, which we'll go into in other videos, and the arguments of your function are int argc, which is the count of your command line arguments, and char star argv, which is your command line arguments, the actual arguments. Don't worry if you don't understand that yet. We'll get into that in other videos. At the bottom of your main line, you'll need a return statement, which will be return exit success, which just tells your compiler that we exited the program successfully. As you can guess, there is an exit_failure too. By the way, if you aren't doing this already, you will find it useful to follow along. So feel free to bring up your own terminal screen and text editor, and keep pausing the video, coming back to your terminal and text editor and writing some more. Because the only real way which you'll learn programming is by practice. You can watch as many videos as you like, but you won't get better unless you practice. Anyways, back to the program. So we have our main line. So when the program starts executing, it'll start here on line 4 and complete the main line. So all we need now is a print statement. or more accurately, a printf statement. So to do that, we write printf, open brackets, open quotation, and now anything we put inside this quotation will be printed to the screen. So we'll write hello world. And at the end of every statement that you do, you'll notice I did it over here, you'll need a semicolon. Alright, so that's almost all the logic we'll need for our program. We'll come back to it in a bit. But right now, let's jump to our terminal screen and see if we can execute our program. So a computer doesn't understand what printf means or return means. It needs to be converted to another language called machine code for it to execute. This is something that a computer does understand. To get it from our English writing to machine code, we need to compile it. And the compiler that we're using is going to be called GCC. If you don't have GCC, you've never programmed before, just download off the App Store Xcode and it'll install on your terminal screen automatically. Not on your terminal screen, but in your computer automatically. So to compile our program, it's quite a long statement, but don't worry, there are shortcuts. We'll need to write GCC space dash with a capital W or wall, that's W all dash where. And this means take all of your warnings, turn them into errors, which you want. Dash big O, dash little o, which is just some optimizing stuff. And then the name of the executable file, which we're going to call helloWorld. And then the name of your actual file, which is helloWorld.c. This is the file that we have stored in our directory right now. So if there's only one file in our directory, or if there's a file in your directory that you can do this with, you just type in H. So for example, I'll type in H and then press tab, and it'll autofill the rest. If there was another file in my directory called hellomars.c, I would have to type in hello m and then tab for it to fill in hello Mars. But yeah, I have my helloWorld.c, and now I'll press enter. So as you can see, it compiled without error, and just to prove this to you, I can press ls again, which means list. And here I have my file, which I talked about here, and I have my executable file. I could have named this anything that I wanted, but it's just easier to name it hello world. And that is the text which references this here. Now we're ready to run our program. And to do this, it's extremely simple. We just type in /hello world. I'm going to just press H and then tab again, which autofills in hello world. And I press enter. And there you can see, it printed hello world for us. Nothing more, nothing less. There is a small problem. We do want a new line so that hello world appears on its own line. This is extremely simple. All we do is put in a \n in our program. Anytime you see a backslash inside quotes in a C program, it means escape. So I have here \n, which means escape this n. I don't want to print an n. I want a different meaning for that n, and that is a new line. So if I'll save that, and there are other ones. If I type in \t, it means put in a tab. \f I think is like form feed or something. But \n, and I'll save it. And I don't want to rewrite this whole compiling statement, because each time I make a change to my program, I'll have to recompile. But I don't really feel like writing out gcc-wall every time I do this. So if I press the up arrow key, it cycles through the last commands that I've run on my terminal. And I'll get back to my GCC. I'll press enter again, go back to the executable, go back to executing it, and there we go. Hello world on a new line. Just to drive this point home a bit more, I can put just to demonstrate it, put a new line here, just to show you exactly what it does. I'll recompile, rerun, hello world. That'll be the end of this tutorial. Sorry if you can hear my dog barking in the background. I'll see you in the next one when we talk about variables and other important C concepts. Thanks.